Excellencies, distinguished mayors and delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, everyone. Sabah al-khair. A very warm welcome to the plenary session, Urban Green Revolution, Skills for a Just and Sustainable Transformation. It's my great honor to attend the 6th International Conference on Learning Cities, and I would like to thank the Royal Commission of Julbai and of course here of Jubail for the kind invitation. My name is Alexandra Wandel. I'm the Management Chair of the World Future Council from Hamburg, Germany, and I'm your moderator of this session. By the year 2050, 70% of citizens will live in cities. 2024 is expected to be the hottest year on record. Already now, cities are facing extreme weather events and heat waves. This is a challenge for the citizens, specifically also marginalized groups, including women and girls, persons with disabilities, indigenous groups. Today, we want to learn and exchange among cities how to scale up skills for just and sustainable transformation and how cities can implement climate action. This panel explores the crucial role of developing green skills in driving urban sustainability and climate action. By adopting a lifelong learning approach, we will examine strategies for equipping both youth and adults with the skills needed for just transition in greener economies and living environments. City leaders and internet experts will today share with us their insights on creating inclusive green skills programs, particularly through public-private partnerships. By showcasing successful models from various sectors, we aim to inspire holistic, actionable solutions for building resilient, sustainable cities through empowered and skilled communities. It's now my honor to invite the first speaker, Mr. Najib Al-Kahati, who's the focal point from Sur, Oman. So, the floor is yours. Very warm welcome. Ahlan wa sahlan.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Good morning.
صباح الخير. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه.
And peace be upon you, God's blessings. I am Najib Al-Qalhati from Sur Learning City in the Sultanate of Oman. I'd like to express my deep gratitude for the excellent hospitality and warm reception and wonderful organization of this conference. The Sur Learning City is one of the learning cities that has recently joined the global network of learning cities. The city of Sur is to the east of the Arabian Peninsula. It's the first city that sees the sun rise. The area is 1,908 square kilometers, and the population is 126,000. And we have desert areas and mountains as well as the seaside. We have a directive from the Sultan of Oman considering 2050 as the year for neutral carbon emissions. And based on that, we have developed a national strategy to move towards zero emissions. Oman is one of the first countries also to sign and ratify the Paris Accord in 2015. We also have the Oman Vision 2040 that focuses on sustainable development, the environment, and the impact of climate change on the Sultanate of Oman. The city of Sur joined the global network of learning cities this year in 2024. It was also recognized as a healthy city by the WHO in 2018, and this recognition was recently renewed. It was also declared a capital of Arab tourism for 2024. In this presentation, I will shed light on the importance of the green revolution and what are the skills necessary to support the green transformation and solutions to promote sustainable development in Sur. The green revolution promotes local economy through supporting projects of renewable energy projects. It also preserves the environment and improves the quality of life. There are many skills that we need to achieve this, and I've summarized them, classified them in 4 basic skills. First, technical skills in terms of managing natural resources and recycling. The second, we need social skills, building partnerships and raising awareness of society. And third, we have leadership. We need leadership skills to lead change and plan for smart cities. And the fourth are digital skills, using big data and smart city technology applications. The challenges that we have is our water scarcity on the one hand and financing on the other. Some of the proposed solutions are training, local training and education, promoting local policies to achieve sustainability goals, the SDGs, developing a green infrastructure and encouraging green projects. And we have also recommendations, first, to develop partnerships with stakeholders from the public and private sector to implement small projects, pilot projects, and third, involving the local community in planning and implementation, and fourth, awareness-raising campaigns to raise awareness of the importance of the green transformation. Some of the initiatives that we've started were, for example, Green Sur initiative. It's a partnership between Sur Learning City, government institutions, as well as private organizations. The objective was to increase the green areas in Sur and promote awareness of the environment. We started with a workshop entitled Promoting Knowledge and Skills Necessary to Build Green Cities That Can Adapt to Climate Change. It was supported by the Omani Company for liquid natural gas and the Omani Company for fertilizers. 100 people participated in this workshop, including experts and those responsible for the environment and dealing with climate change. Renewable energy projects. We have the solar energy project for water desalination in 2023 with the Sharqiya company. It is one of the pioneering projects in the Sultanate of Oman at a cost of more than $14 million. It produces 17 megawatts, and that constitutes 33% of the daily consumption of the company. This company provides clean, potable water for more than 600,000 of the population of South and Eastern Ash-Sharqiya, and it reduces about 280,000 tons of CO2 emissions. We also have the project of green mosques, where we use solar energy for electricity in the mosques, and also using grey water to plant trees around the mosques. We also have the project for solar lights in the streets. We have recycling project, and also a research on methane gas, producing methane gas from food and placing it in transforming it into gas and solid carbon. We also have an initiative under development regarding using methane gas to produce electricity. We have projects for green infrastructure. One of the projects is a public park, Sur Park, and the area is 156,000 square meters at a cost of more than 6 million riyals, Omani riyals, about 15 million US dollars, and it is funded by the Omani Company for Liquid Natural Gas. It includes a theater, a playground for children, and lighting, and other areas. We have a project also to plant trees on the highways, along the highways. Another project to develop parks. We also have a project called Green Schools. We have 30 schools participating in this project. 9 of them are recycling grey water, and 2 schools are using solar panels, and 15 schools are using modern technology for watering the green area to decrease the water loss. We also have a project of the green buffer zone in Sur Industrial City on an area of 10 hectares. We also have greenhouse projects in schools. We have 2 greenhouses in 2 schools in partnership with OMEFCO company and the Ministry of Education, as well as the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. We also have projects to preserve sea environment. We have a dam that was built in Sur that contained 22 million cubic meters of water. We also have the turtle reserve that was established in 1996, and there we have many turtles, protected turtles. We also have the mangrove reserve. We also established fishing ports in partnership with several companies and private sector. We also have a coral reef development project. Planning for smart cities. There's an initiative from the Ministry of Housing that aims to increase green areas in neighborhoods and to reduce the number of cement buildings, and they are also working at planting trees near the valleys and between the houses. We also have community awareness raising campaigns. We organize specialized workshops, also special camps for school children to plant trees, and also to clean different areas. We also organize lectures, raising awareness lectures. I think that the Sur governorate, Sur area, is presents a prime opportunity to lead green transformation in the Sultanate of Oman due to its location and its resources, and we need to focus on developing skills and promoting collaboration between the private and public sector as well as the community.
Thank you very much for this very rich presentation and the inspiring examples. What can be done in order to scale up the transformation we need? This was exemplary. So thank you very much. And now I would like to call on stage our second speaker. And this is Mr. Philippe Bollard. He's head of the Learning City project of Clermont-Ferrand from France. And he will talk about EcoPlanet, Education for Sustainable Development and Climate Change. The floor is yours, please.
Merci beaucoup, Excellence.
Thank you very kindly.
Mesdames et Messieurs les maires, chers collègues.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues,
un peu de temps
I'm going to take
parler d'un
the
projet
time
très expérimental
required to describe an experimental project that we set up in our city, which is designed to improve the transmission of knowledge when it comes to the environmental transition and the energy transition and other transitions that are currently urgently necessary. I'm not very handy with the remote control there. Now, there is no doubt that many of the difficulties that we're up against when it comes to imparting the critically useful knowledge of the 21st century, these difficulties arise from the obsolescence of our teaching and apprenticeship methods. Our modes of production are obsolescent, our social relations are obsolescent when it comes to learning. There are asymmetrical relations and relations of domination. And whichever way you look, this is quite evident. And as you know, these ill-suited teaching methods only worsen discrimination because they are so inefficient that there is no way to overcome those features which exclude large sections of the population from school. Now, having made those observations, we convened a meeting of representatives of the educational community, and we decided to create not a new scheme, not a new approach to school architecture, but rather an overall educational approach, a new philosophy of how to impart knowledge based on learning how to inhabit the world of today, which goes right back to what we were told by the Dean of the Islamic University of Malaysia only a few days ago. So our schooling methods, our teaching methods are not suited to our needs. If we don't find a way to impart the necessary knowledge to our youth and children, then we will be unable to cope with today's challenges. And we have to agree on a set of common goals. The first goal is that we have to teach learners how to inhabit the world of today, which is a way of remembering that each and every learner, children, adults, each and every learner is a talent in training. Our project requires a funding level of 6 to 7 million per school. So that's a significantly ambitious project, and we intend to make of schools places of shared learning for all generations. We want to gradually transform our neighborhoods into territories of educational excellence. Ask yourself whether we have enough talent today to be able to afford to keep out those whom poverty excludes from schooling, learning, and apprenticeship. I think the answer is clear. So, in our city, we've established a perimeter which is inhabited by 2,200 people. We've set up 2 schools. We tore down some insalubrious buildings. We've worked hard to rebuild the urban fabric. We've greened this neighborhood, which is not an artificial process, because right outside the gates of this particular neighborhood there is farmland, and we have worked to transform the schools of that neighborhood in such a way as to match the built structures to the learning program and not the contrary. And we've brought in people from our university to assist us in this project, researchers. Our proposal involves establishing a new method, because when it comes to transitions, one often has to wonder how these transitions could be integrated into our school curricula, how each class could conduct its own projects. We formed an educational alliance grounded in, first and foremost, grounded in cooperation between all of the players in formal, informal, and non-formal education. And we've institutionalized this concept and equipped that collective with the power to act. There's a flexible framework which leaves room for flexibility. We've set up a micro society based on trust. And we have a program devoted to health education, which is emblematic of this approach. That program was set up with the UNESCO Chair for Education and Health and the University of Clermont-Ferrand. We operate in a rather impoverished territory. We're going to transform our schools. We're going to factor in the environmental transition. We're going to shore up the role of the school in the local territory, and the school itself will then become a signpost of sorts to the way we should operate in the future. And then there's in addition to the environmental and the territorial transition, we have to wrestle with the democratic transition, and that too has been included in our program because we want to make sure that no one is left out, no one is kept out of school, and everyone must have a say in decisions made about education. That is our purpose. School must be a place where our citizens are schooled in democracy, in democratic principles. To conclude, this new organization has required organization which is quite similar to that of our friends in Hamburg when it comes to the layout of that splendid city. I urge you to meet with our counterparts in Hamburg. Our school is under construction, but it's still in the blueprint stage because we have to obtain formal approval for this program. We are making headway. We're slowly moving forward, and we will be factoring in all of those transitions that I mentioned because our school must then be transposable to other neighborhoods, inspiring to other territories, and must serve its impoverished territory. Thank you very kindly for your attention.
Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Monsieur Bollier, to learn about more what is happening in France in Clermont-Ferrand. And now we're very happy to welcome the next speaker. And this is Mrs. Ji-Hoon Won. She's the director of the Eunpyeonggu from the Republic of Korea. The floor is yours, please.
안녕하세요. 저는 대한민국에서 온 원지윤입니다. 저는 평생학습 도시 은평 평생교육사 원지윤입니다. 만나 뵙게 돼서 반갑습니다. 저는 기후행동을 만드는 학습의 힘에 대해 발표하겠습니다. 특히 우리 은평구는 그린스킬인 주민실천 중심의 지속가능 학습에 대해 여러분께 소개해드리고자 합니다. 은평구는 대한민국 서울 서북부에 위치한 자연과 사람이 아름다운 도시입니다. 먼저 대한민국인이 가장 사랑하는 산인 북한산을 포함해 6개의 산과 6개의 천으로 둘러싸인 생태 도시일 뿐만 아니라 구민 27%가 자원봉사자인 사람이 아름다운 도시입니다. 그렇기에 더더욱 환경을 지켜야 하는 곳이기도 합니다. 그런데 세계적으로 쓰레기 문제는 더욱 심각해지고 있죠. 전 세계 플라스틱 배출량이 타이타노코 11,700책과 맞먹는 Oh yeah, right. Okay. English. It's not Korean, so English. Okay.
The interpreting is working. The speaker may begin. It's Chinese. It's not Korean.
Not speaking Korean, just okay. Watch out for someone coming up to talk to her.
Can you change the receiver channel 20?
She's
2020.
from Korea.
It's a transfer English.
Okay, she's speaking English. She's given up.
It's okay? Okay. Yeah, got it. Okay, I got it. Plenary. Okay. Yep. All ready? Okay. Okay. 안녕하세요. Okay. Okay. I got it.
Could everybody please change their interpretation channel to 20, 20? Okay, channel 20. If you can't change the channel, if you can't change the channel, I think you can hold down the lock. You press the lock button and then use the arrows to change the channel. Okay, so it's 20, 20. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you.
Okay. 안녕하세요. Okay? It's okay. Yeah. I will start again. Okay. Okay. I will start. Okay. Our. 안녕하세요. Okay? Okay. 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 Yeah. Okay. 안녕하세요. Is it okay? Okay. 안녕하세요. 저는 대한민국 서울 평생학습 도시 은평에서 온 평생교육사 원지윤입니다. 저는 기후 행동을 만드는 학습의 힘에 대해 발표하겠습니다. 특히 우리
And I'm
은평구의
going to be
그린
presenting on the power of
스크린
learning
준비
to
실천
create climate
중심의
action.
지속 가능
My
학습에
presentation
대해 여러분께
introduces
소개해드리고자 합니다.
cities and sustainable learning centers. And Pyeonggu is located in the northwestern part of Seoul, a city with beautiful nature and people. First, it is not only an eco-city surrounded by 6 mountains, including the Abukan mountain and 6 rivers, but also a city of beautiful people where 27% of residents engage in volunteer activities. That's why it's more important to protect the environment. However, the global trash issue is getting worse. It is estimated that plastic waste produced around the world is equivalent to 11,700 ships. The scale is massive. I'm sure everyone here can relate. And Pyeonggu was also faced with the same problem. We relied on external treatment facilities for about 70% of waste, and we were in desperate need of a way to solve this problem. After much thought, we realized that in addition to building a resource recirculation infrastructure, we should run resource programs for residents. Therefore, And Pyongyu signed an agreement with neighboring districts to build a resource cycling center where household waste, food waste, and recyclables are handled separately. In order to make the center more functional, it was important for households to bring in clean garbage. The Green Wamwa project was Korea's first participatory waste collection system. We have been collecting recyclables by 840,000 participants at many locations. In particular, 380 resident resource managers have participated so far, establishing our first recycling of resources. Educating the next generations is also important for sustainable climate action. We have also implemented the waste reduction project in schools. The project was participated in by 5th and 6th graders of Nokban Elementary School, and they were able to reduce 59% and 64% respectively. The project has been well received. It was expanded to 12 schools from this year, and the average reduction of waste per school was 41%. Pyongyu has been operating the resident participatory system for 13 years, where residents identify projects which are needed in the villages. Since last year, we have introduced a system which requires residents to include carbon neutral projects in their participatory budgets. We required educators in elementary schools, and we educate people on how to make compost out of food waste. We decided to further enhance environmental education by adding to practices. One of the best universities in Korea, in Seoul, offers net zero carbon neutrality education, which has a large number of low-income people. It's operated with other universities. In addition, residents are taking high-quality university classes and putting what they have learned into practice. And Pyongyu is also expanding its partnerships towards carbon neutrality internationally. Last year, we organized the ESD International Forum, which invited member cities of the GNLC to raise importance of the awareness of sustainable development education among member cities. In addition, we participated in various international forums to share our carbon neutrality practices and learn from other countries. We're building a sustainable future from learning and practices. Along the way, we were honored to receive the prestigious UNESCO Learning City Award. I look forward to seeing our member cities continue to work together to create sustainable learning that protects our planet. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mrs. Won, and also congratulating for having won the Learning City Award. This is really amazing, and it's fantastic to hear about all these positive examples, what can be done for climate action. Thank you so much. Now, it's my honor to present the next speaker, and it is Mr. Pengtao Yan. He's the Director of Lifelong Learning, Department of Shanghai Municipal Education Commission from the People's Republic of China. The floor is yours, and please all change again now to Channel 5 for the translation. Thank you.
Dear friends, dear chocolates, I'm delighted to show you how Shanghai, as a learning city, is doing the climate change education by multiple stakeholder collaboration. Because climate change education for all is an important part of green skills and green earth. Shanghai is a megacity with many people and industry. Its location, dense buildings, and concentrated energy use make it warmer than other places, adding to the challenges of climate change. Since 1999, Shanghai has embraced the idea of becoming a learning city. In 2019, we joined the global network of learning cities and the ESD Trust, actively promoting sustainable education. Today, I'd like to share 4 experiences with you. First, for the people, for the planet, Shanghai Sprint, leading participation from all. The Shanghai Master Plan from 2019 to 2035 is the city's main strategic framework. It shows our city sprint of both people-centered and green development. This plan aligns with the UN Sustainable Development Goals and encourages collective action to tackle climate change. Under this plan, relevant government departments have implemented a series of policies and plans. For example, in 2023, the Shanghai Municipal Education Commission launched the implementation plan for building a national education system for green and low-carbon development in Shanghai. These initiatives brought together schools, business, and the government department to create alliance for climate change education. Additionally, the Shanghai Meteorological Bureau included meteorological science education in its regulations and produced several air quality education videos to raise public awareness. Moreover, organizations like the Shanghai Servants Federation and the Shanghai Environment and Energy Exchange teamed up to launch Shanghai Climate Week. The city's commitment to sustainability is strengthened by active public participation. In April, the Climate Change Education Forum brought together teachers and students, experts, business, social organizations, and media. This collaboration fostered mutual learning and capability building for all involved. Second, power of practice, writing Shanghai's story of climate action. Shanghai has many vivid practices to address climate change. For example, Nanhui Tower Senior School and Shanghai Jiao Tong University offer the climate education in communities and development the guidelines of climate change education for senior learners. Jian District Senior Learning Center worked with local vocational schools and science venues to create green learning programs, improving climate literacy among the elderly. Tianjin Primary School in Jinshan District collaborated with local business to promote green transportation and sustainable lifestyles within families and communities. With support from the East China Normal University, Shanghai created the Climate Change Education Guideline trial implementation, inspired by cities such as Hamburg, Okayama, and Windham. This guideline outlines clear goals, methods, and support mechanisms for all age groups, effectively transforming climate education policies into lifelong learning practice. We firmly believe in the power of action, and are confident that this practice can tell Shanghai's story of climate action to the world. Third, innovative partnership. Shanghai's strategy to build cooperation networks. Shanghai has built a network of climate education network at multiple levels, from city to district to neighborhood. For instance, the Shanghai Meteorological Bureau worked with 18 schools across the city to form the Shanghai Meteorological Education Alliance, which help improve climate literacy among young people. On a national level, Shanghai launched a climate change education research alliance with 11 other Chinese learning cities. In November, East China Normal University hosted the third seminar on climate education collaboration, bringing together business community organizations and policymakers. International, Shanghai co-hosted a side event on climate education at COP29 with UIL and Hamburg. Shanghai has always been participating in the ESD cluster, working meetings and thematic sharing sessions, and sharing the latest news to Chinese peers. The Shanghai Municipal Institute for Lifelong Education also works with UIL's global workshops and UNESCO's Green Education Partnerships to develop a green community standard. Fourth, professional support strengthens scientific research. SMILE leads many projects on climate change education. ECNU has also established a climate change education lab to conduct interdisciplinary research and improve the quality of education programs. SMILE has already published the initial research findings, which will be showed during this conference. Additionally, in 2024, we formed a consortium to develop a special climate change course for seniors, driving innovations in elderly education. As the research deepens, Shanghai is striving to form knowledge systems in this field with its own unique characteristics. In the face of global climate challenges, Shanghai will keep exploring and innovating education solutions as a learning city. We look forward to sharing our experience and learning from everyone at this conference. Thank you.
Can I get the microphone? Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Yan, for this very inspiring presentation. And now we want to start with a panel discussion. So I will invite now Mr. Al-Kahati, and then Mr. Boalai, then followed by Mrs. Won, and then Mr. Yan. So the question, please, to answer is, what strategies can cities adopt to equip youth and adults with the green skills needed for just transition to sustainable economies and living environments? So please, first, Mr. Al-Kahati, if you could answer briefly.
شكرا جزيلا. بالنسبة للاستراتيجيات التي تتخذها مدينة صول التعلم، هناك عدة استراتيجيات. من أهم هذه الاستراتيجيات دمج المهارات الخضراء في برامج التعليم والتدريب من خلال المناهج المدرسية في المدارس، وأيضا التدريب المهني في الجامعات والكليات.
Professional training in colleges and universities. We also develop skills, especially for artisans. We think it's also important to promote a partnership between the public and private sector, as well as international coalitions, and develop community-based initiatives that are of interest to the community, such as in agriculture, renewable energy, and recycling, and as well as encouraging volunteering in the field of protecting the environment. Another aspect is using technology and innovation through setting up platforms for energy and using artificial intelligence for energy efficiency. Another strategy is promoting policies that encourage the private sector to invest in green jobs and to provide tax incentives for companies that and institutions that provide training in green energy, as well as establishing centers for green innovation and developing the infrastructure for green energy, such as renewable energy plants and also transportation using renewable energy.
Elle repose sur la capacité des villes à transformer réellement les relations sociales et les relations qui existent entre les acteurs éducatifs sur un même territoire. Parce qu'au moins ça peut être commun.
And that could be common. All cities who have different skills in one country or another, they can't necessarily act in France like in France or in other places. About school, for example. So all of the educational sectors, such as formal education, informal education, non-formal education, forms a kind of society of confidence, and that's what we're doing. The idea of an educational alliance, we're trying to raise hierarchical relationships that may exist between different people. And I would just like to give a small anecdote. When for example, we're in a residence with a school, and it would seem that the child, the student, has failed. That's the idea they have, the sensation. It's very hard for everyone to live with this. And the father mentions one day that he knows about beekeeping, and suddenly he can become integrated into the educational community. He becomes the beekeeper at the school, and the son becomes proud of him. So this example is really about the ecological transition, and of course this completely changes the fate of his son and his family. So this educational transformation really is changing people's lives, and of course we can carry out a lot more significant projects as well. We have a policy for the sustainable development, and we need education based on these policies. It is not a beginning of education, so this has to be in our daily lives, like the air that we breathe. So with a sense of unity, it's important to have a sense of unity. So lifelong learning in everyday life is the foundation for sustainable development.
Professor Yan told me about what he wants to set. The first is maybe from several years ago, Shanghai has set his objective of city development, that is the established city of ecology. So for the local Shanghai local government, it pays more attention to the green transformation in all different aspects in society. Mr. Yan told me three key points, the strategy of the city, how Shanghai to put the green transformation. The first is the local government establish all stakeholders network from the local government, the enterprise, the schools, the university. That is the first point. Another is the local government promise to add more money to support this transformation. Another is we paid more attention to professional support from the higher education institutions. For example, in ECNU, we adapted some major, for example, green chemistry to adopt the society's green transformation. That's the main point from Mr. Yan. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much now for all of your contributions. We had some very inspiring presentations now from Oman, from France, from South Korea, and from China. How to scale up skills in times of climate change. We had a lot of positive examples. And now I would like to inform you about a new project that we will be starting as part of the next upcoming conference. And this is the presentation that I'm giving now, which is about the World Future Policy Award. And I hope the presentation can now be shown. So the World Future Policy Award is convened by the World Future Council, a partner organization of UNESCO Institute for Lifelong Learning. And on the next slide, you can see what the World Future Council is about. If you can please get the next slide. So the World Future Council was founded in the year 2007 in the city of Hamburg by Jakob von Uexküll, Professor Girardet, and Michael Otto. And the aim of the international organization is to enable a healthy planet with just and peaceful societies for current and future generations. The focus of the organization is to identify, develop, evaluate, and to award exemplary solutions for our common future. We have a flagship project in the World Future Council, and that is the World Future Policy Award. The World Future Policy Award is the first award at the international level that is given to a policy, not to a person. Our council determines every year a topic that is particularly important in order to implement the Sustainable Development Goals. You will see here different examples. For instance, in the right picture, you see the award ceremony on the topic of disarmament, which was held at the UN headquarters. Further down, we had the topic of oceans and coasts, the world's best policies on oceans and coasts, held at the Conference of Biodiversity of the United Nations. On the left-hand side, you see the celebration on the world's best children's rights, and you see that Finland's education policy received, for instance, one award. And further down, you see an example from the last award ceremony at the UN conference on chemicals in Bonn on the topic of toxic-free future. Now, we have held the award now on 12 different topics, all covering sustainable development themes, and we have partnered with actually 14 different UN organizations and the UN Interparliamentary Union. And here on the world map, you can see that the awards have been given to all continents, to different cities, but also actually country policies that we have been awarding. Just to give you one example how inspiring a policy can be, we had the issue of food security, a topic that is very much still important today. We have a lot of hungry people worldwide. We awarded a policy from a city of Belo Horizonte in Brazil, which succeeded in reducing child mortality by 60% with only 2% of the city budget. So these inspiring policies exist and they can be celebrated. So we at the World Future Council have already worked a lot on education for sustainable development. So for instance, we have produced a handbook for education for sustainable development. We have also already awarded some policies on education for sustainable development. And we are now very much looking forward in preparation of the next International Learning City Conference to start launching an international call for nomination for the World Future Policy Award, which will focus on education for sustainable development in cities and communities. So what are the next steps? The next step is we are happy to have a partnership agreement with UNESCO Institute for Lifelong Learning. We will be launching the call in the year 2026. which you then will receive. We will then do a thorough examination, evaluation of all the received policies. There will be an international jury composed with members from around the world. We will then prepare also films and brochures, and we then look very much forward to celebrating with you the award at the upcoming next International City Conference. So then we very much look forward in the year 26 to your support, submitting nominations, supporting us with your information, and also possible interviews to share social media information we have, and to join the award ceremony. So thank you very much for your attention.